Get out of the way, old man. We need these rifles now. Staff Sergeant Brandon Cole's voice echoed through the armory building at Marine Corps Base. The 89-year-old armory clerk, Raymond Ray Henderson, stood before him, quietly holding his inventory clipboard, looking at the young drill instructor. He had been working at this armory for 50 years, but had never encountered such a disrespectful Marine. Cole was turning to his recruits and laughing. This old man was slowing down the operation. Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton, California, was the largest military base. This base was where Marines received combat training, where they prepared before being deployed to the world. The armory building was especially important. Thousands of weapons, millions of rounds of ammunition, critical equipment stored here. Security and organization had to be absolute. And at the heart of this armory, Raymond Henderson had been working for 50 years. Raymond Ray Henderson, at 89, had completely white hair, a deeply weathered face, stooped posture. He wore a simple tan civilian contractor uniform, a base ID badge around his neck, always a clipboard in hand. He had been doing this job for 50 years. He knew every weapon, knew every procedure, had a perfect record. But there was still something in his eyes, a distant look, as if he were somewhere else. Staff Sergeant Brandon Cole, 28 years old, recently promoted, was a young drill instructor known for his aggressive leadership style. He had done 2 tours in Iraq, considered himself a proven combat veteran. But there was one problem: lack of patience and respect. This morning Cole and his recruit platoon had come to the armory for weapon pickup for qualification. They needed M16 rifles for range training. "Henderson," Cole shouted, "we don't have all day. Process faster." Ray was quietly checking weapon request forms. "Staff Sergeant, protocol requires 3 signatures. Form only has 2. I don't care about your bureaucratic nonsense." Cole slammed the desk. "Give me the rifles now, sir. Regulations state." "Regulations?" Cole laughed. "Old man, I've been in actual combat, real war. Not sitting in air-conditioned armory pushing papers. I know what's important and what's not." The recruits were uncomfortable. But Cole didn't stop. "Look at you," Cole continued. "Can barely stand up straight, probably can't even lift a rifle. Why are you still here? Shouldn't you be in a retirement home?" Ray said nothing, just bowed his head, continued with the forms. "You know what your problem is?" Cole approached, intimidating. "You never served, never wore the uniform, never understood what it means to be a Marine. You're just a bureaucrat." At this point, Master Sergeant Lisa Martinez was passing by the other side of the armory. She was the armory's assistant manager, had been working with Ray for 15 years. "Staff Sergeant Cole," Martinez spoke in a stern voice, "is there a problem?" "Yes, there's a problem," Cole answered sharply. "This clerk is refusing to release weapons, holding up my training schedule." Martinez looked at Ray. "Ray, what's the issue?" "Form incomplete, ma'am. Missing required signature." Martinez examined the form. "He's correct, Staff Sergeant. You need the company commander's signature for this quantity of weapons. This is ridiculous." Cole exploded. "I'm wasting time because of paperwork." "It's not paperwork," Martinez calmly explained. "It's accountability, every weapon tracked, every round counted. That's how we maintain security, whatever," Cole snorted. "I'll get the signature, but this old man needs to retire." "He's a liability," Ray quietly continued his work. That afternoon, Cole filed a complaint with the base commander. Armory clerk inefficient, outdated, liability to operations. An investigation was launched. The base commander, Colonel James Morrison, personally reviewed the case. The next day, Ray was called to the office. "Mr. Henderson," Morrison spoke respectfully, "there's been a formal complaint. Staff Sergeant Cole is questioning your competency." "I understand, sir." "Ray, I've reviewed your record. 50 years, perfect safety record, 0 discrepancies. But Cole claims you're too old, too slow." Ray just nodded. Morrison looked at the file. "Ray, your file, it's unusual. Started working here in 1974, but before that ... there's a gap. 1943 to 1946. Military service, sir. Which branch? Ray answered quietly. Marine Corps, sir. Morrison was surprised. You were a Marine? Long time ago, sir. Ray, why never mention this? Didn't seem relevant, sir. That was a different life. Morrison looked deeper into the records. Old, archived files. Then he found it. Raymond Henderson, Private First Class, 5th Marine Division. Morrison's face went pale. Ray ... You were at Iwo Jima? Ray nodded quietly. My God, Morrison whispered. You were there. February 1945. Yes, sir, Morrison. Stood, came around his desk, went to attention position. Mr. Henderson, I need to know. What did you do there? Ray was quiet for a long time, then spoke quietly. Fought, sir. Like everyone else. Ray, I need details. For the record, Ray closed his eyes, memories flooding back. Landed Red Beach 1, February 19th, 1945. I was 19 years old, first wave. Naval bombardment was supposed to soften the defenses, didn't work. Japanese were hidden in tunnels, bunkers. Waiting for us. Black volcanic. Sand. Couldn't get traction. Artillery, mortar, machine gun fire from everywhere. Men falling all around me. Morrison listened quietly. My unit was pinned down. Casualties mounting. Communications broken. Someone had to get a message to command, request support. I volunteered to run the message. 400 yards across open beach, under fire the entire way. Made it, barely. Shrapnel hit my arm, my leg, but the message was delivered. Artillery support came. My unit was saved. Spent the next 36 days on that island, worst fighting imaginable. Lost most of my friends. Boys I trained with, grew up with, gone. Morrison's eyes filled with tears. Ray, were you awarded anything? Purple Heart, sir, for wounds. Bronze Star for the message run. Ray, why never told anyone? Sir, lots of men did brave things. I just survived. Didn't feel right talking about it when so many didn't come home. Morrison made a decision. Ray, I'm not just clearing you. I'm convening a special formation. This base needs to know who you are, Ray protested. Sir, please, I don't want attention. It's not about attention, Ray. It's about respect. About teaching these young Marines what real service looks like. The next day, a base-wide formation was called. Thousands of Marines assembled. Staff Sergeant Cole and his recruits were there too. Colonel Morrison took the stage. Marines, we're here today because of a failure. A failure of respect. A failure of awareness. Yesterday, one of our drill instructors filed a complaint against an armory clerk. Called him incompetent, questioned his value. That clerk is Raymond Henderson. And I want to tell you who he is. Ray reluctantly marched forward. Morrison continued. February 19th, 1945. Iwo Jima. Private First Class Raymond Henderson. 5th Marine Division landed on Red Beach 1 with the first wave. That beach was hell. Japanese defenders had months to prepare. Underground tunnels, hidden bunkers, interlocking fields of fire. Marines expected 3 days to take the island. Took 36 days. Over 6,800 Marines killed. 19,000 wounded. The formation was absolutely silent. Ray Henderson fought all 36 days. On day 1, when his unit was pinned down, he volunteered to run a message across 400 yards of open beach under heavy fire. He was hit twice by shrapnel, but he completed the mission. His unit was saved. For this action, he was awarded the Bronze Star with V device for valor. Morrison pulled out an old photograph. A young Marine, fierce expression, holding a rifle on black sand beach. This is Ray, 19 years old, fighting for freedom. For his brothers, for America. Cole's face drained of color. Morrison continued. After the war, Ray came home. No parades. No recognition, just trauma, memories, scars. He could have done anything. Instead, he chose to serve again. Joined this armory as a civilian. 50 years, perfect record, keeping weapons safe. Keeping Marines safe. And yesterday, a drill instructor who served 2 tours called him useless. Called him a bureaucrat. Said he never served. Morrison directly addressed Cole. Staff Sergeant, you questioned this man's competency, his value, his right to be here. Let me be clear. Ray Henderson earned the right to be anywhere he wants. This base, this corps, this country exists because men like him bled on foreign beaches. Your 2 tours? Honorable, respected, but they don't give you the right to disrespect a man who fought in the Pacific. Who saw? Things you can't imagine. The entire base turned to Ray. Slowly, one by one, thousands of Marines saluted. Ray, tears streaming, saluted back. After the ceremony, Cole approached Ray, shame written all over his face. "Mr. Henderson," Cole barely whispered, there's no excuse. What I said, how I treated you ... "I'm sorry, deeply sorry," Ray looked at the young Marine. "Staff Sergeant, you didn't know, how could you?" "But that's no excuse." "I assumed, judged, disrespected," Ray put his hand on Cole's shoulder. "Son, I learned something on Iwo Jima. Pride kills. Humility saves. You're a good Marine. Just need to learn respect. Mr. Henderson, would you tell me about it? About Iwo? So I can learn? So I can teach my recruits?" Ray considered. "Okay, but not as a story. As a lesson." Weeks passed. Ray began giving monthly talks to new Marines. Not about glory, about cost, about sacrifice, about respect for those who came before. Cole became Ray's biggest advocate. Every recruit who came through his unit, first stop, meet Ray Henderson. "This man," Cole would say, "is why we're here, why we serve, why we respect the corps." One day, Cole brought a special visitor, his grandfather, also a World War II veteran, Pacific Theater. The old men embraced. No words needed, they knew. "You were there?" Cole's grandfather asked. "Red Beach one," Ray confirmed. "I was on a ship, saw the whole thing. Worst day of my life, watching you boys go in." They talked for hours, memories, pain, healing. Cole watched, learned, understood. Months later, Marine Corps headquarters sent a delegation. They were updating historical records, documenting surviving veterans. Ray was interviewed, his story recorded, added to official Marine Corps history, but more importantly, they brought something. "Mr. Henderson," the historian said, "we reviewed your service record, your actions on Iwo Jima. The Bronze Star was appropriate, but insufficient. We're recommending your case for an upgrade, Silver Star." Ray shook his head. "Don't need a medal. Already have what matters, respect of the Marines I serve with. Sir, it's not about need, it's about recognition, about history recording the truth." Months later, a ceremony was held. A general personally presented the Silver Star to Ray, 89 years old, still working in the armory, still serving. In his speech, Ray said, "This medal doesn't belong to me alone. It belongs to every Marine who fought on Iwo, every man who didn't. Come home, I accept it for them." Staff Sergeant Cole stood in formation, tears streaming. He had learned the greatest lesson. Respect isn't about rank. It's about character, about service, about sacrifice. Years passed. Ray eventually retired. At 92, the base held a massive ceremony. Thousands attended. Cole, now a captain, gave the speech. "Ray Henderson taught me what books can't teach. That a hero doesn't always look like a hero. That the greatest warriors are often the quietest. That respect must be earned, and once earned, must be given." Ray's last day, he walked through the armory one final time, touched each weapon rack, remembered each Marine he'd helped over 50 years. The base established the Henderson Award, given annually to the service member demonstrating humility and respect. And in the armory, a plaque was installed in honor of Raymond Henderson, PFC USMC, Iwo Jima veteran. 50 years of faithful service. Semper Fidelis. Ray passed away at 94, surrounded by family and Marines. His funeral was held at the base. Full military honors. Hundreds of Marines attended. Captain Cole gave the eulogy. Ray Henderson never sought glory, never demanded recognition. Just served quietly, faithfully, forever. He taught us that real strength is humble, real courage is quiet, real service is eternal. Semper Fi, Ray. Mission complete. Rest easy, Marine. Camp Pendleton never forgot. Every new Marine learns Ray's story. Every drill instructor teaches respect in his name, and in the armory his old desk is preserved. Clipboard still there, a reminder, heroes walk among us. quietly serving, asking nothing, giving everything. Sometimes the greatest warriors don't carry rifles. Sometimes they carry clipboards. But their courage, their sacrifice, their service, that's eternal. Raymond Henderson proved it. Iwo Jima to Camp Pendleton, 19 to 94. Always a Marine. Always serving, that's the legacy. That's the lesson. That's what it means to be truly semper. Fidelis, always faithful.